We're here on the African Savanna, searching for the South African Oryx, or Gemsbok. Perfectly adapted to their environment, these beautiful large antelope that grace Namibia's coat of arms don't have to rely on drinking water. They can draw it from roots, tubers, and by eating sama melons and cucumbers, which can provide the 3 liters per 100 kilograms of body weight per day that they require. The Afrikaans word Gemsbok derives from the Dutch and German names for chamois, lending to their superficial similarities, mostly in facial patterns. It's in their visage, however, where the similarities begin and end, as there's no mistaking the majestic scene of one of these scimitar-horned beasts breaching the horizon. With horns as deadly as sabers, with which they've been known to kill lions, Gemsbok are among the most sought of African trophies. Though males' horns tend to be thicker with larger bases, females have thinner horns that are slightly longer, making them one of the few antelope species where female trophies are sometimes more desirable. Their horns may well be one of the biggest reasons they're sought by hunters, but Gemsbok are also a good source of eating. They taste somewhat akin to mild, delicate lamb, and at 98% lean, are a healthful alternative to many red meats. They're generally considered among the best eating of African game, and I hope to be going home with some superb cuts and a nice trophy if I can manage that as well. Though this hunt might have been more comfortable sometime between May and September, when colder temperatures would have made this walk and stalk hunt less excruciating, Rare Gem Outfitters recommended I try between November and April, when flourishing vegetation of the bush makes it easier to approach the animals. I'll still try some stand hunting, however, probably on the second day. All the while, though, I'll definitely keep a healthy stock of drinking water with me all the time. Gemsbok enjoy the advantage of a carotid rete, a filigree of blood vessels in the nose through which all the blood that passes to the brain is circulated and cooled, helping them to avert overheating. They have incredibly keen senses, as do many species on the African savanna. Quite a helpful fact given their need to avoid predators like lions, leopards, cheetahs, and others. As usual, Rare Gem Outfitters is taking care of nearly everything for me on this sprawling reserve, and I'm eager to get started on this hunt. Aside from diligently hydrating, I'll need to keep my outings reasonably short this time of year, just to make sure I don't suffer any heat stroke. It'll just be a brief repose at my outpost to do a last check of my Rangemaster 338, cool down and rehydrate, and I'm off to explore the wonders of this cradle of humanity. As I begin hiking the earth of our ancestors, the only thing more arresting than the heat is the landscape. Breathtaking seems a rather frivolous adjective to truly encapsulate how this tableau grips you as you take it in. Hearing it said that Africa is like no other place on earth is simply an abstract notion of little significance until you experience it personally. It's certainly unique among my previous hunting experiences to date, featuring a completely alien suite of sounds, sights, and smells from which I feel so removed. I've never felt so much like an observer while immersed in the very hunt, and I find my mind drifting occasionally from the task at hand. Hearing what I believe to be soft hoofbeats ahead of me, I get low and glass ahead in the hopes of spotting a pair of horns rising from the grasses. It's a lone bull, and though I don't think he's spotted me outright, he definitely seems uneasy as though he's heard or sensed me, and I need to ready a shot quickly before he bolts. The hours of study before making the trip pay off, and the shot is perfectly placed for a very clean kill. He's not a massive bull, but he'll provide some beautiful meals for family and friends. In this heat, I work quickly to pack him out and head back to camp straight away to have a nice meal and wait for the relative cool of dusk. With the hunt already a success by any measure, I leisurely enjoy the sunrise, then start making my way to a hunting stand to which Rare Gem Outfitters directed me on this trip. I figure on spending a few hours there and hope to get lucky. Even if nothing happens by, though, this will still count as a once-in-a-lifetime trip. Before even getting into the stand, I hear calling, and though I haven't seen Oryx anywhere, I try to make my way up as quietly as I can. No sooner am I in the stand and two bulls are lumbering past, one of which is a red Oryx that I decide will be this trip's trophy. Another perfectly placed shot ensures a quick kill and the icing on this cake. He's a glorious beast and turns an already great trip into a perfect one. British journalist and author Brian Jackman famously wrote, "Africa changes you forever, like nowhere on Earth. Once you have been there, you will never be the same. But how do you begin to describe its magic to someone who has never felt it? How can you explain the fascination of this vast, dusty continent whose oldest roads are elephant paths? Could it be because Africa is the place of all our beginnings, the cradle of mankind, where our species first stood upright on the savannas of long ago?" It's not a passage I would fully appreciate until now, and I don't think Africa's magic can be properly conveyed to the uninitiated. There's a primal connection, and you're at once an observer and visitor, yet somehow right at home, perhaps due to the evolutionary familiarity with this having been home for us for such a long time, despite the passage of millennia since then. Humanity took root here, and I can't help feel connected to it, especially following a successful hunt and the feast that followed. It's a fascinating continent, to be sure, and I certainly hope one day to return. For now, I'll savor one more African sunset with all the sensory delights nightfall offers here, and upon my return, recount this adventure for my family while we feast on the fruits of this harvest.